My constituents are still, to this day, fighting addiction and trying to heal from the pain and trauma created by the Sackler family. Despite the havoc wreaked by the Purdue Pharma, community-based recovery centers have served as critical resources like the Massachusetts Organization for Addiction Recovery and Step Rocks, who have cared for my constituents with compassion. As the daughter of a parent who struggled with opioid substance use disorder, I know firsthand that we need to invest in these support systems and in the stigma and the criminalization of addiction. People who are battling addiction are not criminals. They are not misbehaving. They are managing a harrowing disease that afflicts them and impacts their family every single day. Mr. Sackler, yes or no, do you agree that addiction is a disease?
I do, yes.
Dr. Sackler, yes or no, do you agree that addiction is a disease?
Yes.
Based on documents obtained from the Massachusetts Attorney General, this is not always your family's view, particularly when the opioid crisis was first unfolding and generating bad press for OxyContin. According to an internal email marked as document 3 on page 4, Dr. Richard Sackler wrote, and I quote, "The abusers are misbehaving in a way that they know is a serious crime. They are doing it in complete disregard of their duties to society, their family, and themselves. The notion that this is genetically programmed is nonsense," unquote. He went on to write, quote, "The fact is that many other people have the same tendencies and are not drug abusers. They are criminals," unquote. Mr. Sackler, do you agree with your father's words that people struggling with addiction are criminals? Yes or no?
No, I don't. And in the almost 20 years since this was written, I know my father has both apologized for these words and has come. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Thank you for claiming my time. In one email marked as document 2 on page 2, he wrote, quote, "We have to hammer on the abusers in every way possible. They are the culprits and the problem. They are reckless criminals," unquote. Mr. Sackler, who do you believe is the criminal? The person struggling with addiction or the corrupt pharmaceutical executive that has monetized the addiction?
Well, I don't believe that people struggling with addiction are criminals, though.
Are you?
I don't
Are
believe
you and your
that.
family?
No, I do not.
I certainly vehemently disagree. I'm going to reclaim my time. And I also just want to take a moment to just acknowledge the equitable outrage, which I appreciate from both sides of the aisle, about this unjust, predatory practices which have decimated communities and destabilized families. I wish that there had been those same sentiments during the crack cocaine epidemic, which decimated urban communities and Black families still today. Blaming people with substance use disorder is shameful. Your family's rhetoric fuels the stigma and harmful policies that have denied people in need the resources they require to overcome their addiction. We do not need another failed war on drugs. What we need is a reckoning and accountability for drug companies who put profits over people and rob us of lives and freedom of our loved ones. You have created a nationwide epidemic. 450,000 people have died. Let me be clear. People struggling with addiction are not criminals. Your family and Purdue Pharma, you are the criminals. You are the ones who disregard your duties to society, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. I yield back.